high school, 14 to 20-somethings, late 20s. That's how old you guys are right now.
Okay.
That's why I'm reading.
Yeah. Okay, so how's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Maybe it should be a little louder than that. I need to hear the excitement. How are you guys? Okay, so I'm really excited to just be up here to share something that's kind of been on my heart for a very long time. And I just want to talk about being an impact, and more so just being an impact in the people in your world by bringing them to church. I just really want to get into it. If you look at the first point on your notes, it's step out and speak up. In Psalm 40, verses 9, I'm using the Message version. I like the way it was worded. It says, I've preached you to the whole congregation. I've kept back nothing, God, and you know that. I didn't keep the news of your ways a secret, and I didn't keep it to myself. Something that kind of comes to mind is the story of my friend Roger. Just recently came to Champion Center last week for the first time, and I had been nagging this guy for, I'm not even kidding, a year straight, trying to get him to come to church every time I saw him. And every single time, Jewel, seriously, you're annoying me, you need to stop, I'm not going, I don't like church people, so end of discussion. And I always stopped after that. I didn't want to like nag him or anything like that. But on my birthday, because it was on a Tuesday night after CR, I invited him and one of my other friends to come out to Applebee's with everyone, and I had a couple of people from church, and we were celebrating my birthday. So obviously they came, and Roger spent the entire night after he got introduced to everyone just talking to everyone at the other end of the table. Didn't even know I was there, didn't even talk to me until he took me home later on. But I got a message on Facebook that night that said, hey Joel, I know I was giving you a hard time about it, but I think I want to come to your church. Wow. So he came last week, and he decided last week that he wanted to come more consistently, so he's going to start coming every Wednesday as long as he's not working, which he doesn't, so I'm cool with that. But if you look on your paper, there's a really big question I want to ask you guys, and it's how many of you have hesitated to or just not invited somebody to church? And if you thought about it, why haven't you done that? I know for me, I have a hard time with rejection, and so when I go to ask someone, I'm just like, okay, they're going to say no, so maybe I just won't, or God will place someone in front of me or place it on my heart to ask them. And I'm like, no, they would never go to church. I'm just going to push it aside and not have to worry about it at all. But a lot of the time, people are just waiting to be asked. That's literally all it needs. And I mean, honestly, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no.
Right.
What do? You just keep asking.
Right.
Almost to the point where it gets annoying. I do that a lot. I have a couple friends who I'm still working on. And a girl recently actually just got to the point where she was like, okay, Joel, seriously, if you stop asking, I'll go. So she came, and she ended up loving it. So she actually comes on the weekends now, so that's really cool. But if you look down at your second note, it says, don't be stingy. If you read verses 10 from Psalm 40, it says, I told it all, how dependable you are and how thorough. I didn't hold back pieces of love and truth for myself alone. I told it all. I let the congregation know the whole story. And the part in that I really wanted to highlight was in the middle. It says, I didn't hold back pieces of love and truth for myself alone. It's not fair for us as Christians to receive this amazing gift from God, the love and the truth and the grace that he gives us, and for us to hide it. It's like we're saying, okay, you gave that to me, it's my gift now, I'm going to hide it now. I'm going to keep it to myself, and I'm not going to let anyone see it. But our job is to let people know about that, express that. And we may not even have to necessarily tell people outright, hey, I'm a Christian, but just letting that light shine through you, letting them see the joy and something in you that they don't have that they want. Something when it comes to being stingy, this is something that really, honestly, gets me so fired up. And it's the pipe and drape in Champs Auditorium. I am so sick of seeing that pipe and drape. On a Wednesday night, we show 220 seats that are available for people to sit in. And there is a total of 650 seats that are available in that auditorium. And if we want to be honest, out of the 220 seats that are available to sit in, only 190 of them are filled on a good day, which I did a little bit of math, which we don't necessarily get to do in WFL. But if we had the full 190 and each person brought 2 people, we would still only fill 570 seats. Still not even filling the entire auditorium. And I can't express enough how sick I am of seeing that pipe and drape. I pray every day for God to just get that out of here, just to speak into people's hearts, to get people to want to come to church, because I'm just so passionate about that. Because the way I look at it, every single empty seat over there is a life not being touched, a life of a friend or a family member who you're not going to see in heaven if you want to be honest about it. And so I just kind of wanted to share in closing a little bit about my story, about everything that I've been through. as a couple of you guys know, I'm graduating from WFL hopefully in 2 weeks. And just to put it out there, it was a really, really long road for me to be able to get to where I am even now. When I came into WFL, I had just recently been baptized literally 2 weeks before. And the week before I got baptized, I was out partying, I was out fighting, having sex, doing anything you could possibly think of just to get away from God. And when I really made the decision to follow after God, it was a little bit before conference, and Pastor Chamberlain had spoke a really great message on forgiveness and just letting Him into your world, and that's when I made the decision. But I'd been attending Champion Center since my sophomore year in high school, and that is a funny story in and of itself. My friend Nikita, will never forget her for this, lied to me and said that we were going to go get food. It was spring break of my sophomore year. We were going to go get food. She just failed to tell me that it was going to be after church. So we ended up in the back parking lot, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? I'm going to walk through the doors, and I'm going to be like smited down or something. I don't know. I was such a horrible person. But that night, I was in tears. Like, I left, I'm pretty sure, every single night after that for the next 3 years crying, because every single message had touched my heart so much. And I mean, you look at it now, I went from literally 2 weeks before I came into WFL, partying and drinking and doing whatever I wanted, to turning away from all of that and seeking after God. And it all started because somebody invited me to church.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, she tricked me into coming to church, but she was persistent about it. And so I'm about to graduate WFL in 2 weeks, and I just want to encourage you guys to really think about that. Be aware of that. You never know the influence or the impact you can have on somebody's life just by inviting them to church and just by being open about it. And you never know how much of an impact you'll make on someone's world unless you stop hiding what Jesus has done in yours.
Very good.
So I just want to encourage you guys, just at the end of this, to really focus on that and be aware that sometimes, honestly, you just need to ask.
Right.
And that's all that's going to happen is you ask, and God will do the rest from there. So
There you go.
thank you.